Assalamu alaikum dear students. I hope you are well by the grace of Allah with your friends and families. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. This is Sifat Firdausi Shaun, lecturer, Department of Biology in Milestone College, Uttara, Dhaka. Today, I will discuss some topics from chapter 7, that is Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. So, today I will discuss about Cycas and their reproduction. So, dear students, let's start our today's online class. What we will learn from our today's lesson? First of all, structure of Cycas, coralloid root, why Cycas is called living fossil, and reproduction of Cycas, and Microsporophyll of Cycas, structure of Megasporophyll, difference between Microsporophyll and Megasporophyll, and fertilization. First of all, we have to know about the structure of Cycas. Cycas is a sporophytic ODT plant. They are looking as like as palm or tree fern, hence called the palm fern. The sporophytic body of Cycas differentiated into root, stem and leaves. What kind of stems are present in the Cycas? Cycas have a straight, unbranched, stout and cylindrical stem. Its height ranges from 2 to 5 meters. The woody stem is covered with shield-like thick persistent leaf. Now I will tell about the leaves. What kind of leaves are present in the Cycas? Cycas have two types of leaves, compound pinnate foliage leaves and short brown hairy scale leaves. So I think this is very interesting. You can see a picture. These leaves arrange spirally and form a crown like structure on the apex of a stem. The two kinds of leaves alternate with each other. The foliage leaves show succinate vernations like the leaves of ferns. They gradually unfold and on maturity they may be measured sometimes as much as 2 meters. Each leaf has a long and strong petiole which is continued as rachis. The petiole is covered with numerous short spines which are believed to be modified leaflets or pinnae. The pinnae are always linear, stiff and are arranged on either side of the rachis. So, this is the type of the leaves of Cycas. Now, I will tell about the roots, and this is very interesting. In your exam, these root systems comes very often. So, root. The Cycas have a main taproot which attains fairly large size because of its short life. This is replaced by some secondary adventitious roots. Some of these adventitious roots grow up towards the surface of the soil and dichotomously branched. On soil surface, these roots attacked by Anabaena bacteria. With the multiplication of bacteria, the cyanobacteria nostoc enter in the cortex of root. As a result, the infected roots destroyed and become a deformed structure. These roots are then look like as marine coral, hence that's why this type of roots are called coralloid roots. In your exam, this is a very important question. What do you mean by coralloid roots or structure of coralloid roots? It may come. So, this is the very important question and also topics. Here as you can see the picture of coralloid root. Now, I will tell the very important question which will become in your exam. So, what is the question actually? Why Cycas is called living fossil? This is the very important question. I saw many of you could not answer this properly. So this is a one kind of comprehensive based question. So first of all, you have to give the knowledge based answer. That means what is living fossil? So first of all, you have to write the when the characteristics of living organism is similar to the characteristics of the primitive fossil, then the living organisms are called living fossil. So Cycas is one living fossil. Why Cycas is called living fossil? So Cycas under the order of Cycadellus. In the primitive era, Cycadellus order was found in the whole world, but many of them are extinct. They are now found as fossil. Many characters of Cycas is as same as the characters of Cycadellus order plants. That's why they are called living fossil. I hope you understand the why Cycas is called living fossil, and you have to give the right answer in your answer screen. Now I will describe about the reproduction of Cycas. Cycas reproduction have two methods. Number one is vegetative and the number two is sexual reproduction. What is actually vegetative reproduction? Any form of asexual reproduction occurring in plants in which a new plant grows from a fragment of the parent plant. So this is actually vegetative reproduction. It is the simplest method of reproduction. It takes place by the formation of bulbils or adventitious buds. These buds develop on the stem in the axil of the scale leaves. A bulbil is an oval structure broad at the base and pointed at the apex. It consists of dormant stem in the center covered by numerous brown scaly leaves. On detachment from the stem, a bulbil starts to germinate by producing many roots from the lower side and a leaf towards the upper side. A bulbil from male plant will develop only into male plant, while the bulbil from the female plant will form only female plant, because Cycas is strictly dioecious. Now sexual reproduction. Produces offsprings by the fusion of gametes, actually sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction in Cycas is oogamous, that is female gamete. Egg cell is significantly larger than the male gamete and is non-motile. Cycas is sporophytic, that means it is actually diploid, and strictly dioecious. That means what? Male and female sex organs are born on separate plants, so you have to mind it. The Cycas is dioecious. Now I will describe about male reproductive organs. The male cone is largest in the plant kingdom, approximately 500 cm or more in length. It can come as MCQ in your exam. Now I will describe the structure of Microsporophyll. The Microsporophyll of Cycas grow aggregated along an axis and form a club-shaped structure known as male strobilus. Here, as you can see in the picture, male strobilus. Male strobilus. Male cone or strobilus is a short-stalked, compact, conical, woody structure develops at the apex of the stem in between the crown of foliage leaves. It may be 40 to 80 cm in length. Several hundred microsporophylls remain spirally arranged around a central axis. The microsporophylls are flattened woody structure about 3 to 5 cm in length. It is triangular and tapering at the end of this sterile part known as apophysis. Numerous sporangia developed on the ventral surface of the microsporophyll. 3 to 4 sporangia form a sorus. Within the sporangium, several spore mother cells developed, each of which divides by meiosis and produces 4 haploid spores. Thousands of microspores are thus produced in a strobilus. Mature spores are disseminated by air and frequently fall on the pollen chamber of the ovule. In germination, each microspore produces pollen tube and male gametophyte. Here, as you can see the picture, this is the Cycas cercinalis, and A and B show the single male cone per each branch of male plant, and number C show the two male cones per in branch in male plant, and number D shows the Microsporophyll with sporangia, and number E shows the dehisced sori, and number F and G actually dry powdery pollen, and H actually pollen grains. I hope you understand about. Now I will describe about the Megasporophyll of Cycas, that is our female reproductive organs. Female plant do not produces definite cones. A whole of spirally arranged Megasporophylls arise around the short apex. Each Megasporophyll is considered as a modification of foliage leaf and reaches up to 20 cm or more in length. It is flat body consisting of an upper dissected or pinnate leafy portion and a lower stalk. The leaf-like structure is covered by many yellow or brown colored hair. Lower petiolate part bears the necked ovules on the margins. The ovules of Cycas are largest in plant kingdom. The ovules are orthotropous, that is short and straight, and the unitegmic, that is with one integument. Now I will tell about the difference between Megasporophyll versus Microsporophyll. So, Megasporophyll, the sporophylls which bear Megasporangia, and Microsporophyll, the sporophylls which bears Microsporangia. And number 2, in Megasporophyll, rule to produce a carpel in Angiosperms. In Microsporophyll, modified into stamens. In Megasporophyll, produces megaspore. In Microsporophyll, it produces microspores. In Megasporophyll, does not shed its spores. In Microsporophyll, sheds its spores. In Megasporophyll, spores developed into female gametophytes. In Microsporophyll, spores developed into male gametophytes. In Megasporophyll, female gametophyte is formed inside the megasporangium in seed plants. In Microsporophyll, male gametophyte is formed near the female gametophyte, and in Megasporophyll, responsible for the production of female gametes, and the Microsporophyll responsible for the production of male gametes. So, this is the actually difference between Megasporophyll and Microsporophyll. So, I hope you understand about this difference. So, now I will tell about the fertilization process of Cycas. Microspores are born by air and directly fall in the pollen chamber of the ovule present at its apex. The microspores germinate there and the pollen tube penetrates through the tissue of the ovule and enter the archegonium. By this time, tip of the pollen tube bursts. The two male gametes are injected within the archegonium. One of these two male gametes fuses with the egg and completes fertilization. The fertilized secretes as a wall around it and modified to the zygote. After fertilization, the ovule is modified into seeds. So, this is the here you can see the picture or the cycle of fertilization, and see mature sporophyte, and then in one side pollen cones and other side ovulate cone, and from pollen cone microsporangiums are produced, and another side ovulate cone single scales are produced, and then meiosis occurred. After that, pollen and the megaspore are sequentially male gametophyte and the megaspores are produced female gametophyte, and they after that they fertilized and produced embryo, and after that it produced seed. So, this is actually the fertilization process of Cycas. Now, it is time for homework. So, dear student, this is our stem. An ornamental perennial dioecious plant has coraloid root and shows succinate vernation and primitive in flowering plants. So, this is our stem, and the question is number A, what is apophysis? This is the knowledge based question. And number B, why Cycas is called living fossil? And number C, explain the root structure of above plant. And number D, differentiate the reproductive organs of the above plant. So, this is your homework. So, dear students, I hope you all enjoyed our today's online class. If you have any query about your topics or about your homework, you can ask your subject teacher. Thank you for being with me. Stay home and stay safe. Take care. Allah Hafiz.